Hello and welcome to the final edition of Boss Builds featuring the Model Graphix Fine Molds F14D Tomcat kit, 1/72nd scale. The paint is on. She's done, finally. I know you've all been waiting for this. I was waiting for this. Here it is in the markings of VF31 Tomcats. All the little dangly bits hanging out. As I had said in previous episodes, I just followed what is said on the instructions. So I know there's a couple little things that the Tomcat purists are probably going to look over. No, it wasn't like that. But these are all the decals that actually came with the boxing. So they were very, very thin. They settled down very nice and very quickly. So bear that in mind if you use the kit decals that when you're applying them, that make sure you get them lined up right when you put them on because they stick. And it takes a lot of flooding with water to loosen them up if you got to slide them around again. As I've mentioned, the wings are still movable. Those are actually glued in place to the hinges. They're not synced to each other. This is not like the old Hasegawa kit or the old Revell kit, or I think even the Graphix had geared wings. Don't do that, but you do have the option, if you're careful with the glue, that you can glue them in place and still have them move. We've got all the panels opened up here. As I said, I'm sure the true Tomcat fans out there will be like, wait a minute, these two weren't actually hinged panels, they just removed. Oh yeah, but the instructions said glue them on, so I did what the instructions said. I'm not doing anything other than what they said to do for this example build. A quick look at the other side here. You notice the extended in-flight refueling probe, the open radar. Take a little look at the underside here. Got all the racks and pylons in place. Bottom speed brakes open. All the panels are open, radomes open, canopy open. Not opposable canopy. You have to choose in the build process whether you're going to have it open or closed at the end of the day. As I mentioned in I believe the first episode, the canopy rails on the inside, it's a separate piece, and there's optional pieces depending if you're building it open or closed, because they have to fit around the radar intercept officer's combing, and the open version won't do that, so there's separate pieces for the closed option. But one of the reasons I want this open is so that we can pose it with pilots. Yes, we've got pilots from model casting. They're very nice little resin figures. Let's take a closer look at those. Allow me to just slide the Tomcat out of the way. We have two sets. A set of two standing pilots. It actually does stand on its own, almost. We'll have him there. We'll lay him down. Two standing pilots and two seated pilots. Multi-piece figures. There's the heads in their helmets. These are appropriate for the F14D, as these show the later style helmets worn by the Navy from the late 90s on. Not the earlier style helmets like are in the Hasegawa pilot sets. Those are actually more appropriate for 70s to 80s era pilots. So these would be more appropriate for the F14D. Very nice little resin pilots. And if you're looking for something different, well, there's actually a third figure set out there. So I'll slide in right here. Russian pilots. Okay, so now the Tomcat's done and you think you're finished. Not so fast. There's more, which I'll show you right now. Let me just move the Tomcat out of the way and bring into the picture the latest issue of Scale Aviation and weapons for the Tomcat. So let me take a look in here and see what we got in the box. Set that aside. And there they are. Okay, so let's take a close look at the weapons parts that come with Scale Aviation's July 2015 edition. Also tooled by fine molds. We have, starting at the top here, we have your two sidewinders, AIM-9 LM versions, two Sparrows, 4 Phoenixes, so a full missile load. Most of the time in actual service it was carried in a 2, 2, and 2 configuration, 2 of each missile, but you've got all 4 Phoenix here if you want to go hunting for bear or badgers. Also a lantern pod with the adapter pylon for that. So if you want to include this, you'll need to bear that in mind when assembling the underwing pylons, that you need this set to put the lantern pod on. And they also include, these are actually somewhat redundant as they are included in the Tomcat kit itself, the inserts for the Phoenix missile rails. And they seem to be the same pieces that were in the Tomcat kit, where they have the detail on one side if you are building without Phoenixes fitted, or if you turn them over there's the locating pins on there for gluing the Phoenixes to if you're installing them. And these are the exhausts for the Phoenixes here. So that's a nice touch. They're not just left and right halves like they are in most other kits. And also something that should be pointed out here, one of the complaints I've seen numerous times, people talking about like the Hasegawa weapon sets or the weapons that are included in the Fujimi kit, is that most other manufacturers tend to model prototype Phoenix missiles, which had some extra bulges around the midsection in this area here. These do not have that, so I'm going to assume that these accurately represent operational Phoenix missiles, which you would really want because there would be no way you'd have prototype Phoenixes hanging off a F14D. And then we have the decal sheet here. Lots of decals to sit on there for all the various types of missiles, and also I guess these are probably the cooling grills for the lantern pod over here. So that's it for this version of Boss Builds. I hope you all enjoyed it. We got here the F14, all the aftermarket that's readily available for it. If you get it all, you get this cool pile of stuff here. Hope you enjoyed the build. I know I did.